it was interesting because I was just like so like anxious to shoot, honestly, because I was like, I can't be bad at this. Like maybe. Yeah. Hey guys, what's up? It's Brie Flash, and today I'm going to be exposing my secrets about how I became a professional photographer at age 18 and just over the past couple years, what I've been doing to make that happen. So let's get started. All right, hey guys, what's up? My name's Brie Flash, and if you guys haven't seen me before, I'm a photographer and videographer based in Minneapolis right now, hoping to get out of here soon, but I just finished my undergrad in business and marketing, but that's just for context. So, all right. So, hey guys, what's up? My name is Brie Flash. If you guys haven't seen me before, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, and let me know if you have any questions after this video, during it, whenever. Just make sure to leave a comment or message me at Instagram at Brie Flash, and I'll be sure to get back to you. All right. So today I'm going to be doing a video that's talking about how I became a professional photographer in a short amount of time, and just overall my journey with that, and hopefully it can inspire you guys to kind of get a perspective about how I came about doing that and just everything that was involved, etc. So let's get started. All right, so I have always had an interest in photography ever since I was a kid. We lived like in Germany and stuff for a little bit when I was a kid with my dad's work and stuff. So I think that was when I got like my first like camera when I was like 8, just like some point and shoot thing for like my family's camera. I mean, not really mine, but I always like taking photos with that, and I don't really have any of those photos, which is kind of unfortunate, but I mean, it was just kind of like of my brother and like the mountains and stuff, so that's pretty cool. But then when I got into 7th grade is when I got my first phone, and prior to that, I didn't really have a camera. We had like a flip video camera when I was like in 3rd grade or something. That was like my brother's camera, but I feel like I never really had like my own camera, and I always wanted like a DSLR. If you guys are watching this with no context of photography and stuff, DSLR is like a camera that has a removable lens. So like this like obviously a lens is just my like cheap lens that was sitting right here, but yeah, like a lens that can come off the base of the camera. So that's a DSLR. And then there's also like mirrorless and stuff. But basically I wanted a camera that I could take lenses off and would be like professional. Because, you know, I was using like Tumblr and stuff in middle school and, you know, really wanted like those high quality cool photos. But not even just for that. I just really wanted to be a photographer. And like my brother and I kind of had a joke as a kid because he also was like into photography like the same amount as me. We'd be like, oh my God, like who's going to be a professional photographer first? Like we can be Flash Photography because our last name's Flash. Whatever, but yeah, so it was kind of just always something in the back of my mind that I wanted to do. So it's kind of crazy that it actually happened. But anyway, so when I was in 7th grade, I got my first phone, which was an iPhone C, I think, like the cheap iPhone at the time. And I just loved taking photos on it. I would take like selfies with all my classmates and like photos of like trees and just like anything I could. And I went on a trip to California when my grandma was sick, and took like a bunch of photos on the beach and stuff. And I was like, like I actually like really like photography. Like I like to take photos of things. And I was like, dang, like I really want a camera, but like my family didn't have like much money, so it was like kind of like not an option to just like go buy a camera. And I was like 12, so I didn't have like any money myself. But then eventually my brother saved up and he got a camera, and he didn't really let me use it, and my parents were divorced, so I didn't like live with my brother, so that was like its own drama. But basically I was like, okay, I can't get my hands on my own camera right now, so I'm going to join the photography and video club. So I joined my middle school's video and photo club, and honestly my photography club cameras like were not great. They were just like, I think I literally shot photos mostly on my iPhone for the yearbook, like because I was taking a lot of the pictures for that. So that's kind of like where I really got started back then. But then I was in the video club, and we actually had like pretty good like big like cameras and like film cameras and stuff, because we would do like the broadcasting for the daily announcements and stuff. So I did get some experience using those, but honestly I was still kind of confused because it was still kind of a boys club, to be honest. Like it was like, oh, like I was like the broadcaster girl. Like I did learn a lot and stuff, but I feel like at the time I wasn't really getting like all the knowledge about video cameras and stuff, but I was kind of being surrounded by it, which I think was a good start. And so then when I was in 9th grade, the TV network in my station actually came to our video club meeting. It was like, hey, if any of you guys like are interested, you guys could like work here someday. And I was like, I'm interested. And they're like, cool, like, do you want to work for us? So then I applied, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I got it. So then I was like, this is like gonna change my life. Like, this is gonna be crazy. Like, I'm about to learn professional videography. Like, I can't wait. So I actually like really like started in video if you think about it. So kind of interesting. But yes, I was like 16 or whatever. And I go to my local television network and I start working for them. And I was filming like local events and stuff like that. In like sports games, just like stuff. So no photography. And like I usually had like a mentor, say like with me, like one of the other video TV network employee people would help me like use my camera and stuff. And after about like 5 or 10 shoots, having like the assistance of one of the other employees, and then I started to be able to do the shoots myself, and like then I feel like I was really getting a grasp of like compositioning, composing the shot myself, and just like doing that. So that was pretty cool. So I feel like that was like a really good start. So I'd say if you are young or if you're just thinking about like your own journey and stuff, I'd say if you can join your middle school or high school photo club or something like that, or even like a community thing, or if you're in college or just like anything. So yeah, that's kind of where I started in middle school and stuff. So then in high school, I was working for the TV network all of high school. And then I also was like, I was never in yearbook or anything because that was like its own class, and I was too busy taking like my other stuff I had to do and whatever. I don't know. I just didn't really have an interest in doing photography class or yearbook class. I don't know why. Maybe I was just being pretentious or something, but like I just didn't. So whatever. That's kind of weird actually that I didn't do that. But I was trying to take like other classes, like AP classes and like college and school stuff, so I could get credit. So I guess that makes sense. But yeah. Anyway, so in high school, I was the marketing manager for our student council and just kind of like doing marketing and stuff for a lot of the school clubs. So like for theater and speech team and stuff like that, I would like take photos at our events and stuff. And honestly, like I was just taking them like with my phone and stuff. But then I started working a part-time job at this ice cream shop called Cherries, shout out. And I worked there for like 3 years too, alongside the video production place. And I was saving up all this money because I really, really wanted a camera. And if you guys watch my other content, my best friend Cadest, she and I actually started as pen pals. Essentially, we met online and stuff. And I was about to meet her soon. So I really wanted like a good camera so I could capture our memories together. And if we were going to be traveling and stuff. So whatever. So I got a camera after saving up a bunch of money, working at the ice cream shop. And I got a T3i Rebel with just a kit lens 18 to 55 or whatever at National Camera Exchange. If you're from Minnesota, it's like a used camera place. And I got that for like $250. So decent price, I guess, I don't know. But it was interesting because I was just like so like anxious to shoot, honestly, because I was like, I can't be bad at this. Like maybe I just had like some complex, again, me just exposing my high school self for being insecure. But yeah, I was like, I know like what I want to take shots of, but like I just don't understand like how to do that and like the settings and stuff. And I didn't want to just like be on auto, but like that's where I was at the time. So then I would honestly like purposely like lose my camera battery or like whatever. And then actually the universe gave me a slap in the face by I was using like a corrupted memory card. So every time I put in my camera, it like would not turn on. So it was like interesting. So I thought my camera was broken. I'm like, well, rip, like, all right, this is done. But then I eventually figured out that it was the memory card that was broken, and I was like, all right, maybe I shouldn't like take this for granted. Maybe this is a wake-up call. Whatever, kind of deep, but not really. But then I was like, all right, so I had this camera for about like a couple months now. I was trying to make some like YouTube videos on it and stuff. And just overall, like I wasn't really taking photos because I really wanted to take photos of people and portraits and stuff, but I was too insecure to ask people to do that. So don't be like me. Just ask your friends to take photos and stuff. And then one of my like best friends at the time, he had a camera as well. He had like a 70D or 60D or something. So him and I would go out hiking and take photos of each other and like take photos of like trees and like his sisters and like just stuff like that. And then I started taking some other friends' photos like after theater practice or like stuff like that. And honestly, it was mostly just like my like 5 core friends. Because a lot of my friends were like, I don't want photos. Like, I don't want to be, like, narcissistic, self-centered, like, whatever. And I was like, okay, like, it's kind of making it awkward because I, like, want to focus on doing photography, but, like, y'all won't let me take photos of you. And I didn't really want to do, like, self-portraits because that wasn't really my vibe. And again, I was insecure and stuff. So, like, I was just, like, in this whole complex of myself about, like, I can't take photos. Like, no one wants me to take photos of them. Like, blah, 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 blah. So, basically, if you have something to learn from there, don't listen to your high school self if you're in high school watching this or something. Like, or even, like, if you're not in high school and you're, like, thinking about photography and you're like, oh, my God, I just have no one to take photos of. Like, whatever. Like, find someone who supports you and do that. And even if it's, like, honestly, this is going to sound bad, but even if you feel like people are, like, kind of using you to take photos of them, like, I feel like we've all been there when we're starting photography, and kind of you're using them too if you're trying to, like, build your portfolio. So, like, don't use people, but, like, be willing to shoot people that maybe you aren't, like, best friends with or something. Like, shoot some people from, like, your basketball team or, like, the dance team or something, like, or just ask, like, a club if you can come take photos of them. Like, that's not using them. Like, you are both just, like, getting an exchange of services for free. So, like, don't be afraid to, like, just get someone to let you, like, take a photo of them. So, yeah, that's my best advice. But, yeah, so then in high school, I was just taking photos. I went on that big trip with my best friend, Kadest. We went to Portland and stuff, and then I was taking, like, a bunch of photos there, and I feel like I was finally starting to get to, like, have someone that would let me take photos of them, so shout out Kadest for letting me take pics of you. But, yeah, and her little sisters and stuff, and I was taking photos at, like, the waterfalls and stuff. And I was like, I, like, really love photography. Like, I want to start capturing my life more. And I didn't even think about photography as, like, something that I could do as my job or, like, a career or anything. Because I was like, I'm going to college. Because I was going to University of Minnesota in September 2016. So 4 years ago, I just graduated. Shout out. And I was like, I'm going for, like, tourism and theater. Like, I'm not a photographer. Like, I didn't even think of it as an option. Like, I didn't think I was that good. Like, I thought my pictures were fine. Like, I was like, my Instagram feed's kind of cute, like, whatever. But I was like, I'm not, like, a photographer. Like, I did not, like, identify as that at all. But I had, like, a Facebook page that was, like, flash photography. And I, like, took some people's, like, senior photos, like, twice for, like, $100. Which, thinking back, that's kind of good for, like, not doing photography professionally. So, not bad, but whatever. So I get to college, and it's the first day of college. And I was like, if I carry my camera around, maybe people will let me take photos of them. Because this is, like, a different world now. Like, I'm not just, like, the person I was in high school. Like, this is a fresh start. Like, I can, like, take photos of my life. I can make videos. I can make vlogs. And I really wanted to be, like, a YouTuber and always have been. So subscribe if you support me now. But 4 years later. But, yeah, so I was, like, carrying my camera. And it was first day of welcome week. And I made this, like, group of friends that ended up being, like, my friends for a lot of college and stuff like that. And we were just, like, walking around, and they were like, oh, my God, like, you have a camera? Like, let's take photos. Like, oh, my God, you're a photographer. You're a photographer. I'm like, I'm not a photographer. And they're like, you're a photographer. So shout out to them since day one for clouding me up and hyping me up with my photography because, you know, we need people like that. So if you're not a photographer, or even if you are, just if you see someone taking photos, like, hype them up. Don't be, like, poser, like, whatever, because that's just toxic. And, like, you should be hyping people up for trying something new, even if you don't know if they're good or not, because if everyone's just trying to explore their passions, like, let them do it. So whatever, so I was taking photos of these friends and stuff, and I had, like, this super cool, like, artistic, like, alternative, like, fashion friend group and stuff, and we all, like, thought we were, like, kind of cool, like, going to concerts and stuff, and, like, I mean, it was chill, like, I'm not making fun of the situation, but I was like, wow, this is, like, so different than my, like, small suburb town. Like, I'm living, like, the art school life, like, whatever, maybe a little bit, but, yeah, oh, well, I sound like such a loser, but, yeah, anyway, so then we started going to, like, concerts all the time, literally, like, for, like, $5 to $15, not, like, anything crazy, like, just, like, shows around the neighborhood and stuff, because we're in a big city of Minneapolis, so there's lots of music and stuff, and then we were just going to shows and stuff, me and my friend group, and I was just taking photos of, like, the performers and stuff, and honestly, my T3i did not do well in this low lighting, but I was trying my best, and I was like, I want to take photos, like, I want to be a concert photographer, whatever, and so I was just taking photos of all these, and then actually my friend group started a band, which is called Early Eyes, and they, like, kind of popped off, so shout out to them. But I was literally, like, just going to all my friends, like, band shoots or, like, band concerts and stuff, and they were, like, performing around campus and at some, like, small venues and stuff, and then, like, later some bigger ones. And overall, like, I feel like that was a big step in my journey to be able to photograph them. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity I had to photograph them back in the day, and then that would also lead to me shooting their artists that were opening with and beside them, before and after them. So I made like so many cool friends and stuff like by shooting concerts. So I guess I also started as like a concert photographer if you think about it. But then I became a volunteer at the radio station on my campus, which is something I think a lot of people don't know about my journey with photography. So I started working at Radio K, which is the University of Minnesota radio station, and they have like in studios every Friday. So if you're from Minnesota, or if you go to the U of M, shout out though, you know. But I was going to their in studios every Friday. If you don't know what in studio is, basically artists would come to this like in studio room and we would record them. And I was taking like photos and videos of them on these in studios on Fridays. So I was meeting all these artists that were coming to town. Honestly, no one like big, like more just like small indie vibes and stuff. And I was making friends with all these artists and like taking their photos, and then like sometimes I would go to their show later that night and then take photos of them, and then they'd put me on the photo pass and stuff. So I feel like that was like a big step as well towards my whole photography thing going on and everything. So that was super awesome. So I'm super thankful for that. And then I eventually like got trained to be a DJ and stuff there, but that's like besides the point. But yeah, so then I was just taking photos of them going to all these concerts. And then, so when I was at these concerts, I'd meet all these people. And honestly, my Instagram at the time was just like super personal or whatever. I probably had like 800 followers or something, like just from like high school and like random stuff or whatever. But all these people were adding me on Instagram and everything. And they're like, oh my God, like your photos are so cool, like whatever, concert photos. And I was like posting, photos from the concerts, photos of my own life, photos of me and my friends, like me and my boyfriend, like whatever, and people were like, you're so cool, like whatever. And I did not like look like this. At the time I had like brown hair, was like pretty normal, kind of poor, like kind of dressed really bad, like whatever. But I was taking some decent shots. So then whatever, I feel like a turning point was when one of my friends was like, hey Bree, like I feel like your photos are pretty good, but you should probably get a better camera, because like I feel like that's what's like setting you apart from some other photographers. And I was like kind of offended. I was like, I'm poor, like I don't have money to do that. So then I was like, dang, like, that would be a good investment though. So then I thought about it and I saved up a bunch of money and like used my savings, and I got like a job in the dining hall and like at the convenience store on campus. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save up money, I'm gonna use my savings, and I'm gonna buy a new camera. So then I upgraded from my T3i to an 80D by buying one at Costco. And I was like, all right, this is like crazy. Like I have such a good camera now. Not really, I wasn't being like that like head about it, but I was like, okay, like this is an upgrade. Like I will get better. This will help me in low light. Like I'm gonna get a better lens and stuff like that. So then I got my 80D, sold my T3i pretty shortly after. And I started shooting my 80D at these concerts and stuff. I started doing some video as well. Honestly, the 80D doesn't have like, this is Canon by the way, if you don't know, but honestly the Canon 80D doesn't have like amazing like video content, but it was better than the T3i for sure. My T3i was like so bad, like it wouldn't focus on anything, like everything was super manual, which I feel like really helped me like just like learn how to do it. So I guess I didn't really mention this, but so when I was taking like these photos at shows and of my friends and stuff in fall 2016, I was also trying to use like manual and stuff like a little bit more. I was using like TV mode, AV mode, like just trying to get out of auto completely and try to get a little bit more control. So like in TV mode, if I remember right, it's like you control just the shutter speed, and AV is you control just the f-stop. I forget, whatever. But yeah, so then I started eventually going into manual, and then my friend Zach really helped me. He's a photographer as well, and he started to like give me some like slightly more advice on shooting manual and stuff. But he was living in a different state, so that was kind of just like over FaceTime and stuff. But anyway, so then, sorry, this video is super long, but I thought I should throw this out there because people have been asking me to make this for literally 4 years, so hee. But yeah, so then I was shooting all these photos and stuff, and I was like, dang, like, I'm just editing on like VSCO, like this is pathetic. Like not really, that's not pathetic, don't get me wrong, but I was like, I am trying to be like a professional photographer, like whatever kind of like in the back of my mind. And I was like, wow, like I don't know how to edit on like Lightroom. And I know that's like the industry standard. I knew how to use Photoshop because I've had Photoshop for like all my life, just like computers and stuff. And I've been doing graphic design for like a lot of things. I thought about going to college for graphic design, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, okay, I know how to use Photoshop, so I could probably figure out Lightroom. So then I like eventually downloaded it, and then I stayed with my friend Zach over winter break, and Zach's pretty good at editing, especially for the time. He is really good at editing, not pretty good, really good. And so then he taught me some tricks, so shout out Zach. And he was like just showing me like the basics of Lightroom and like how to use that and everything. So I was like super thankful. And I was like, that's when I felt like my photography started to get to a new level, because I was developing my own presets and my own just like look. And I feel like for me, something that sets my like photography apart is like me watching this in like a year, like this is so cringe. But I feel like something that sets my photography apart is the look of it. So I was kind of developing my own presets and just kind of like going with that. And I'm gonna make another video, or maybe by the time I post this, I will have made another video about how I make my own presets and stuff like that. You guys can also buy my presets at brieflash.com/shop. Yeah, go check that out. But yeah, so then basically I was starting to like learn how to edit and everything. And then at all these concerts and stuff, I was meeting all these like cool alternative people. And I was like shooting my friends and taking photos of them just for fun now. And then it was about like May, freshman year of college, and there was all these like beautiful girls in my dorm or whatever. And so I was like, hey, can I like shoot you guys or whatever? Like, I'd love to photograph you, like, like whatever. And they're like, oh my God, because people really do like free photos. Like, I don't get why I was so insecure for so long. Like, if someone would just tell me that people like free photos, like, would have been a game changer. But also Instagram culture was like very different 4 years ago, especially when I was in high school and in my small town. Like, people weren't as like, oh my God, time to be like an influencer like all the time. So was different. But I say now, like, you should have no problem finding someone who wants some free like professional looking photos. So whatever, shout out a bunch of girls. So shout out to Callie and Kendra and all right, 3, 2, 1. It got stopped. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Anyway, so sorry it cut off. But yeah, so shout out to Callie and Kendra from my dorm for letting me shoot you for the first time. But yeah, so I just shot them and everything. And then from there on out, I was like, wow, like I have like the confidence now just from that one shoot to create more content and to style the shoots, because I think I helped them pick out the outfits. Like I was like, wear this look. I went to their dorm, picked out some cute outfits, kind of Tumblr vibes. And we literally just like shot around kind of campus and stuff. And I was like, I could do this. Like, I like this. And from there on out, that summer, I was working in just like a small town again. And I was living in Red Wing, and I was just like a florist and working at a hotel and stuff. And I started like taking some senior photos of people and just of like my boyfriend and like my friends and stuff. And we'd go on like little photo adventures and like go on like hikes and stuff, which was cool. And then I actually started getting like brands, like small brands reaching out to me and stuff to do like influencer campaigns and stuff to like shoot their products. And I was like, what? Like, this is crazy. And I feel like it's kind of different now. Like, Instagram's kind of changed the past couple years. So like, that was pretty crazy. Like, I mean, I was definitely like a micro influencer at the time, but it was cool to get these like brand inquiries and stuff. And you definitely, if you are trying to shoot other brands, you could definitely reach out to them. So, but I was just really lucky that they were reaching out to me. Maybe they knew I was from like University of Minnesota and stuff, but they claimed to like my photos, so that was cool. So I got some cool like brands and stuff on my resume and in my portfolio and stuff, so it was pretty cool. And at this point, like, I probably still only had like 1,000 or so followers. Like, it wasn't about like my Instagram followers or anything like that. It was just about like the connections I was like really making with the people in my actual life. So that was interesting. And then whatever, I get to college my sophomore year, and I'm back on campus and stuff at university. And now I live with my friend who's now a professional model, and my old roommate Irene, and they really let me like experiment with photography and stuff, and they wanted to start modeling more. So I feel like that was like a really good team to find someone who really supports you in photography and like allows you to take photos of them. I know so many photographers that I know find someone like a good friend or a roommate or sibling or their boyfriend or whatever that like lets them take photos of them. And if you can be that person for someone, like not only will you get a bunch of cool photos, but like you can really change someone's life by like just supporting them and letting them take photos of you. So if you're not a photographer, be that person for someone. And even if you are a photographer, be that for your other photographer friends and just be there for each other. Help other people grow. So yeah, so then Irene and I were taking photos all the time. And then I was starting to just like take more and more photos. And then there was like a lot of like photo meetups popping up in Minneapolis through H Collective, because that was a thing at the time. And then they like reached out to me because I was like going to a lot of meetups and like getting a lot of people to join their website and like go to their meetups and stuff. So then they actually flew me out to LA to be like one of their like influencers for this summit and stuff. So that was like absolutely crazy because I was like, I'm literally like a nobody. Like I don't even like really like know how to use my camera. Like what is this? Like I'm still like imposter syndrome central. Like I was like, I don't deserve this. Like I don't know what's going on. Like I was like, this is crazy. But I really felt like at this time my photos were starting to finally get to like a new level. Like it wasn't just me like taking pictures of my friends. It was like I was starting to like take photos that were kind of conceptual a little bit. Like I'll probably throw some in here, but I was like, this is pretty cool. And so then went to that trip in California, which is pretty interesting. And then after that, so before I went to California, I realized I had some like money saved up, and I was like, this would be a good time to upgrade my camera, especially before going on this trip, because I knew about a month before that I was going to be going on this trip to LA. And so then I upgraded my camera to a 5D Mark IV, like shortly after it came out, and I spent like literally all my money I had on that. So I was like, but this is worth it. Like this is gonna be a good upgrade. And at some point in the past year, I had gotten a Sigma 1.4 35 millimeters. So I was shooting with that, and I felt like that also gave me a big boost in my confidence as well as in my photo quality, because I think if you don't know much about lenses, in my opinion, lenses can make or break your photo, and a lot of times it can really be the like next step in your photography if you can't afford a better camera. And honestly, I think the lens is really important. So write that down. But yeah, so then so now I'm shooting with a 35 1.4 Sigma Canon with the 5D Mark IV, and I sold my 8D pretty much immediately because I was like, I'm broke. And so then after that, I was like, all right, like I'm gonna take photos that are really good. Like I have a good camera, but you realize that like photography isn't about getting a better camera, but you do feel like a burst of confidence when you do get new gear, of course, just like getting new clothing or something, like you feel cool at the time. And like, yeah, of course, getting a new camera helps your quality and everything, but like it's not everything, so yeah. Noted. But yeah, so then I went on this trip to LA, took some awesome photos, and I was like really inspired by the people I went on this trip with. So shout out to all you guys. Thanks to H Collective for having me for that. And just overall, that was super awesome. And I came back super inspired, and we talked about like branding and our own personal like Instagrams and like what we're doing with them and everything, and like where we're trying to go with that. So then after that, I was kind of thinking about like what I wanted to do with my own personal account and how I wanted to like leave an impact on my audience and everything for my Instagram. So I was like, maybe I should start like posting more photos of me so people can see like who's behind the camera, because I really want to inspire people to be photographers and to focus on like all their passions and everything. But honestly, at this time I was really struggling with like my own self and like who I actually was. So it was kind of hard to like, you know, be someone online and like present so confident and like secure when I really wasn't. And I was like struggling with like what my major would be, like what I want to do in my life. I'm like, do I want to drop out and like be a photographer, which I knew was not an option, but I knew I was going to finish my degree and everything. So if you're wondering why I kept going to school while I thought I was like becoming a professional photographer or whatever, like I did have like a really good scholarship for school, so I definitely wasn't going to like drop out. I was just going to finish no matter what. And so then I, throughout the spring, I started to kind of just like reflect on my life, and I ended up going on a trip to California again for the first time since when I was 12, because my grandma passed, and I like yet again was like reflecting and kind of thinking about those old times that I went to California when I was like 10 or 12 or whatever, and I was like, yeah, like I really am inspired and like do love photography, and just had like a moment, and it was like really interesting, and I was like, yeah, I could like, if I like focused on photography, like I could do this, like I can take this to the next level. And it was just like it was a good time and a grounding experience. And then that spring I like made some more friends and stuff and was photographing them. I was hosting my own photo meetups in my city. So if you don't know what I mean by that, basically I would like post on my Instagram, and I honestly didn't have that many followers at the time. Like I maybe had like 3K or something, and that was, I feel like, just from knowing a lot of people and everything and like going to university and meeting a lot of people in the photo community and stuff. But yeah, I was like just posting on my Instagram like, hey, on this day at the end of the month, like we're going to meet up here at this place and take photos. And I would like call a restaurant ahead of time and be like, hey, can we all meet there? Maybe I'll make another video on how to host meetups and how I've done that in the past. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. So, but yeah, and so then we'd have all these meetups and stuff. taking lots of photos, building my portfolio, and then later I went to, that summer, but yeah, so then after that, I just was continuing to like build my portfolio and everything. And then I decided to start posting more photos of my own life because I wanted people to see me behind the camera and in front of it, like whatever. And I was also trying to like build that confidence, like kind of like I was saying a minute ago, I was kind of insecure and like didn't really like know who I was. And I was like trying to figure that out by being able to capture myself in the same way I captured others, because I feel like I was putting so much like worth in like realizing the beauty in other people, but I wasn't in myself deep. But yeah, so then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take some step backs and like learn to creative direct myself and focus on myself for a little bit. And so then I was still taking photos of people all the time and everything, but I feel like that's when my photography started to shift. I started to like kind of work on different projects, and I got asked to shoot for Crisp and Green, which is like a salad company in Minneapolis. And they reached out to me when I started posting some videos that I was making. And I just randomly started making videos again because I remembered all my time at the TV network, and I was like, that was pretty cool. And so then I started posting videos like that and still continuing to like take photos of my roommates and everything. And I started to shoot weddings because this wedding photographer that I just saw on Facebook or something, or on Instagram, they like shot senior photos from my friend's little sister, and I just like commented on her post, and I was like, love your photos, and I DM'd her, and I was like, hey, if you ever like need a second shooter, like I'd love to learn more about wedding photography, because I'd done a few weddings that were just like friends of friends and stuff at this point, but I really wanted to get more into that. So then that summer, I started working at Best Buy Corporate, and I was working on their social media marketing team as an intern. And I also was assisting with their photo and video like teams and learning a lot of stuff from them as well about like Fortune 500 and like corporate photography. So that was like a really big eye opener and stuff. And then alongside that, on the weekends, I was shooting weddings with this photographer. After I DM'd her, she DM'd me one day randomly in like June or something. She's like, yo, one of my second shooters like left like randomly, can you shoot this wedding with me like today or like tomorrow or something? And so then I started shooting weddings with her, and I learned so much about photography and everything. So that was amazing. So thanks, Jess, shout out for all your mentorship and everything. So I'd say if you get something from that, like reach out to other photographers in your community, whether they be like just like young people or like people who have been like established in the career for a while, or on like LinkedIn and just everything like that. So yeah, just something to think about. So look for mentors in your community. Sorry, this video is kind of ranty. I just wanted to be kind of like we're having a conversation, like, you know, we're at a little... Hey, okay, so my phone died earlier, and I was recording on there, so I just thought I'd finish this up, and yeah, basically after I was like kind of figured out like that I was doing photography and stuff like more seriously, then over the past like, I honestly forgot kind of where I left off, but basically I'd say like in the past year or so, like just like understanding like what my niche is, and like developing more clientele like based on people who like not only my photos for like being like good compositions or whatever, but people who like appreciate me for my style. So like what I mean by that is, I feel like in the beginning when you're starting photography, a lot of people will just be like, oh, I like want good photos, like I want whatever, but can you edit it more like orange or more like whatever? And I feel like once you get to the point where people start appreciating your look, and like when you've developed your own look and everything, that's when you start to like really build up your clientele and just like getting people to like your photography like beyond just you. And you truly have to be happy with what your style is and everything. So I feel like in the past like year, I studied abroad in China, so I was kind of like gone for a little bit. And honestly, I feel like that made like some of my like people in my life not realize I do photography anymore, just because I kind of like wasn't showing that as much because I was like learning Mandarin and everything. So I'd say like try not to take a break like that, because I was kind of nervous that I'd lose like some clientele by going to China, but I mean it was totally worth it and everything. But I say when I came back, I really had to reestablish myself again as being a photographer, and like I don't think anyone really thought that I like stopped doing photography, but just like ensuring that I still do that. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, overall, sorry this video is super long, but I just say like not using people, but like working with the people around you and collaborating just with awesome, like, creative friends of yours. And overall, it just comes down to, like, really loving photography. And if it's something that you love, like, and you work hard towards it every day, if you're always taking pictures, the best advice I'd have for someone who's learning photography and wants to be a professional photographer or wants to do whatever with photography is to never stop taking photos. Take photos of everything, of your friends, your life, just like even self-portraits, stuff in your room, like literally anything. As long as you're always working towards your like 10,000 hours, if you've heard of that, the whole like you'll be an expert at something if you work 10,000 hours on it. Just like always working hard towards things that you love, whether that be photography or anything else. Just always practicing editing, and just don't let anyone get in the way of your success and make you feel like you're bad at photography or bad at whatever. Because I feel like that's the thing that has held me back the most in the past couple of years. It's just people making me feel bad. It's just people making me feel bad for wanting to be a photographer or wanting to do something non-conventional, especially as I'm pursuing a business degree and stuff. So overall, just saying like, you got this. And if you're always taking photos and you're always working hard towards your goals, you'll get there. You can be a photographer and establish your unique style and ask for a critique from friends and everything, and get mentors, and just like always be working towards getting the next best shot. Every shoot should be your newest best one, and if it's not, like, no worries, but like that's just something I always have in mind, like, oh my god, this is gonna be my new favorite shoot. Like, I'm gonna go take the coolest pictures ever right now. And honestly, you're not gonna love every client shoot. Like, you're not gonna always have creative control. It's gonna be difficult sometimes to get inspired on a shoot and stuff. I'll make another video sometime that's about like how I work with more like difficult clients or people who like aren't models or like just stuff like that, because I feel like a lot of people can be taken aback when their clients aren't just their friends if they are so used to shooting their friends and everything. So yeah, I guess I just have like a lot of thoughts, but yeah, thank you guys for watching this, and hopefully it was interesting at all. And I just wanted to have a broader perspective of my own photo journey. Some of you guys have been following me for a few years and really seen my full journey as I've developed into this professional photographer and everything. So I appreciate you guys who've been here for the long run, and all the people who are joining right now and everywhere in between. So thank you guys so much for your support always. And yeah, if you guys have any questions ever about photography, let me know. I guess I never mentioned it, but now I shoot with a A7R III Sony with Sigma 20mm 1.4. My body is currently kind of broken. It like doesn't turn on half the time, and my lens is obviously in great condition. So, you know, I'm not the biggest gearhead, but you know, we're doing what we can with our budget. So, but yeah, I got that when I started working for Best Buy because I got a good discount. I got like $2,000 off, spoiler alert. And then I sold my 5D Mark IV, and that was in about 2019, I think. So 2018. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys want, you guys can subscribe below and like, comment, all that stuff, and follow me on Instagram at BrieFlash and TikTok. I post a lot of stuff on those, and I have a bigger following on those, I guess, if I'm gonna flex. But like, yeah, and Depop at BrieFlash, and you guys can listen to my music on Spotify at Cyber Girlfriend. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and please help me grow my YouTube channel by liking and commenting and all of this. It like really helps me out, and it takes you like 1 second. If you guys appreciate my content, thank you so much, and have a good day, and do everything you love, and show me your photo journey and everything. Love you guys so much. Bye.